You have found out that you are stuck in a time loop, reliving the same week over and over. Instead of trying to find a way to escape the loop, you train yourself mentally and physically for hundreds of years until you've become the ultimate human. Then one day, the loop breaks. As the days became years, and the years became decades, I continued to study. It started in small things. I learned how to speak Mandarin Chinese in the early days. At the time I thought this will be cool. After becoming proficient with reading and writing, I decided to move on to other languages. Korean, Japanese, then into the European languages like French and Italian. Eventually, I think after the first 100 years, I could speak all the languages of everyone in my city. This helped me when I started into science. As some nationalities have different specialties in science, it was such an amazing way to take it all in. From cellular biology to atomic energy production, I couldn't get enough. Really though, it was a way to stay sane. As I continued to wake in my small condo every week with memories of my past clear in my mind, it was all I could do to not completely break down. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen Groundhog Day. I don't really laugh at it anymore, sometimes it just makes me break down in tears. There was a period of time I hunted around the city to see all the tragedies I could help stop. Like old Bill catching that kid falling from the tree. Like the other part though, I found a lot more homeless men that would die no matter what I did. Not specifically homeless men, just that was the scene that I could relate to my experiences. A few times I was killed during my rescue attempts, and just like Bill I would wake up in my bed. I started to get into philosophy once I realized that I had more knowledge than the brain surgeons alive. Philosophy was the most fun, I think. Reading about all the greats, understanding more and more the longer I spent discussing with so-called enlightened people. I would have loved to get into better shape. I was in okay shape, small belly sticking past my belt, but my arms were strong and I could run a couple of miles in a single go. Too bad the body didn't keep the tone I managed to get after a week of training. What I could do was study martial arts. Man, I had fun with those local trainers. The first few years of introducing myself they were patient. The last couple of hundred they couldn't believe how much I knew walking in off the street. Even without top physical condition, when you know how to move it's pretty crazy what a human body is capable of. I did some traveling. Some areas of the world I'm still working out how to get there within my week. A lot of places I could manage to grab a flight and started to train with world-class fighters. It actually took a lot of time to figure out how to get a few of them to even allow me to try. If I hadn't already improved beyond the trainers in the US, I likely would have never been able to get their attention. Some random white guy walks in off the street speaking their native tongue fluently got me in the door most places. However, a few monks took a lot more study to get them to let me train within a day or two of meeting them. Shulong was the hardest. He's a Wing Chun master, and I had to learn the name of every member of his family before he would even look at me. Threatening to tell his brother-in-law that Shu had taken his cousin's virginity finally got his attention. It was totally worth it. Studying with the monks I learned how to open my third eye through meditation. That opened up a world that isn't written about much. I can actually focus my chi to heal injuries now. Not a broken bone or anything serious, but a pulled muscle, or something like poison ivy won't slow me down. I found all the short-term investments that would pay the most within a couple of days. Borrowed money on my first day and opened up a personal stock account, dump everything on that one marijuana company that blew up over 2 days, then cash out and have enough to do almost anything I wanted. Max I could get together was about $583,200 in the first half of my week. Pushing beyond that I'd only have a day or two to enjoy the money. I lost track of how many hundreds of years went by. One day I'm meditating on a mountain in absolute silence beyond the wind. I had about $340,000 left in my account. I was so deep into my meditation that I lost track of time. When I came to, I started my walk down the mountain. I could see clouds forming in the distance. I looked back down at my feet when I almost tumbled down the rest of the way. I stopped in my tracks and my heart started beating very quickly. I had been alive long enough that I knew the weather for every day of my week in every country in the world. I knew that there wasn't supposed to be clouds until the first day of the week after mine. I started to run full speed down the side of the mountain. I had done it a few dozen times before, so I knew where to land and when to slow down. My mind started to race. Is this it? Am I free? As I got closer to the small town I had landed my small airplane, it looked like it was true. It wasn't the day that the small yellow plane had come in. That red car by the entry to the airfield was gone, and it had been there every single time I had visited. I rushed to the small building holding the local airfield office. I kicked open the door and looked up at the television screen playing beside the lone airfield manager. Kakoyeta den? What day is it? I said to him. He looked up and lazily replied, Vtornik. I fell to my knees. My head was spinning. My week was from Tuesday, June 4th until Monday, June 10th. It was mother effing Tuesday, June 11th. The guy stood up and walked cautiously over to see what was wrong. I jumped up, Vtornik. He fell back and started cursing as he went back to his desk shaking his head. I had so many plans. So many ideas. Now it was time to put them into action. Obviously the first was to introduce fusion energy in the market. Then I had to start working out the logistics of building my advanced carbon cleaning filters worldwide. Holy! I can start to get myself in good physical condition for the first time in probably 1,000 years. Goodbye little belly. I won't miss you.